It is a convincing win for India, who have found their mojo back after being, you could say, stumped by the Windies in Pune and then taken close in the tie in the second ODI before that in Visakhapatnam. Cricket returned to the Brabourne Stadium after 12 years, one-day international cricket, and it was lit up by the local boy Rohit Sharma's 21st ODI ton, 162 of 137 after Virat Kohli won the toss and decided to bat. India scored 377, 220 of those in boundaries. In response, as it can happen at times, when you try and go too hard at a target like this, you don't come close. Halfway there, the Windies, or maybe less than, 153 all out. Jason Holder amongst the runs and Khalil Ahmed amongst the wickets. On our post-match show, ESPN Cricket Info Match Day with Phil Simmons and Ajit Agarkar. Let me go to Phil first, who predicted correctly at half-time that either we'll see a good chase or you may very well see something in the range of 150 and they don't get close, which can tend to happen at times in one-day international cricket, Phil.
Yeah, it does. It does happen more than often, and I think with two run-outs in your top three batsmen, it's always going to be a disaster at the end of the day. It started fairly all right, but again, you can't afford to run out your batsman in form, which is Shai Hope, and then in the next over, another run out. That I think that was the point where it got twice as difficult as it was at the start.
We've been served two very good ODIs last couple of games in this series, closely fought, going till the end. I think at some point we were going to be disappointed in a one-sided affair.
Yeah, and you've got to give credit to the West Indies that they've kept themselves in the series so far.
Yes.
Today was different though. I think India's got everything right, and West Indies obviously had their worst day of this series. But once they had 370 odd on the board, that was always going to be difficult to chase. Whether they lost wickets early on or not, getting those 3 wickets early sort of took the sting out of it, and then Hetmyer going to a really good ball from Khalil sort of finished the game there. So it was always going to be difficult to chase that.
Yeah.
But the way the West Indies have batted so far in the series, you thought they might put a little bit of pressure on India at some stage in the innings. Unfortunately for them, was a tough night.
Yeah, now we've got numbers pouring in because the number of 224 is a significant margin in any form of cricket, but certainly in one-day international cricket now. And you look at that, it stands number 3 on the list of the largest victories in terms of margin and runs scored in ODIs for India. You take away Bermuda in the 2007 World Cup and Hong Kong more recently in the Asia Cup, and that's what you've got for India. West Indies in number 3. Right. Let's focus on how India got there. Let's go backwards now, because Ajit mentions Khalil Ahmed, 3 wickets. You'd like a cushion of 370 when you're defending, but take nothing away from the skill and the variety that Khalil Ahmed displayed today.
No, not at all. And again, you know what Virat said at the toss, Virat Kohli, that there might be some movement. I know in Mumbai, generally with the new ball, there is. In fact, even when West Indies bowled, there was something in it with the new ball. They should have probably approached the innings differently. You know, not although it's a good pitch. Once the shines off the ball, it's good through the line. We saw lots of plays and misses today, and then when Khalil came on, you know, obviously swung the ball in. Any left armer who does that, is the length which he got, was spot on for that pitch. I mean, because it's such a true pitch, you err a little bit in length, and you can sometimes struggle and go for runs on that pitch. But even the one that he got Marlon Samuels with, that's a great skill to have. If and when the ball's swinging, if you can do that, you'll always pick more wickets than not. Not sure why he was stopped after 4 overs.
Yeah.
Virat Kohli is a harsh captain, but yeah, it's a nice game for Khalil to have, because otherwise there's been a lot of pressure in these games with high scoring totals. So nice little game to have.
Yeah, you can be a different bowler in limited overs cricket as a left-arm seamer if you can get the ball to go both ways to the right-hander. You know how much better a bowler Zaheer Khan became when he developed that ball consistently, that went away, not much of a change. But from what you've observed of Khalil, he's got to work on getting that right more often. He's got it in him to actually be a
I
top
think
bowler.
now that he's got that wicket with that ball, will give him confidence to bowl it more often. You know, you sometimes, when the ball's flying all over the place, you sometimes don't think that clearly. And when the guy is so new into his career today, that's why I said today was a nice time to bowl as well. West Indies were 3 down at that point, and he got the ball to shape in, which then would have given him confidence. There is usually something under lights in Mumbai. It's the length which he got right more often than not. Beat the bat. or when sort of cut batsmen in half a few times, and that ball is really impressive. If he can do it on a consistent basis to go away from it, yeah, it was wide and Marlon Samuels hangs on the back foot and it couldn't get there, but that's still a very skillful ball to bowl. So some good signs we saw there. Hopefully that gives him a lot more confidence to then actually try those skills out more often, even under pressure.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've given him a little more confidence. Phil Simmons, if he would have gone on in that spell where he was bowled 4 overs, 3 for 11 and got a couple more, it's going to be, it'll take a little courage for him to go to Virat Kohli now and ask him, why didn't you let me bowl a little longer with the chance of 5 or 6? Would you have gone on with Khalil there?
I think there's some bowlers that he would have found it hard to get the ball out of their hand at that stage. 3 for 11 in 4 overs. But I think Ajay mentioned it there. His big plus today was not only swinging in, but the length that he bowled. When you look back at Zahir and Ashish and even Chaminda Vas, they hit the top of the stump every time they bowled the in-swinger. And that's what he did for Rahman Powell today. And Malan, the lengths were impeccable, so they had to play at it. So I hope he has the courage to say, Skipper, next time I need 5 for, but I doubt that very much. But he bowled excellent today.
Okay, now let's actually pick up from the West Indies point of view as to where this game could have been better. 2 of those names you mentioned, Khalil Ahmed's wickets, Rahman Powell struggled with the bat, Marlon Samuels is due some runs too. Looking at what is a must-win game for the Windies if they are to salvage something in this series in a few days' time in Thiruvananthapuram. What are the personnel changes you're looking at? What are the players that you're looking at to just add a little bit more?
I don't know, but I think it will be hard because I think Nurse has an injury there, and I don't know. It looks really bad. When he was batting, he was struggling too, so that could be a forced change. But at the top of the batting, we've got to find out. I can't remember who's the extra batsman we have.
Sunil Ambris is in that squad, so Sunil Ambris is possibly your option.
Well, that's the thing. He would have to be looking to come in for Rahman Powell, and Jason Holder would have to be looking to bat one place higher up. And Malan has to come to the party. Malan has to score some runs on this tour, and let's hope that it's in that game. But other than that, the 2 openers has got to give a bigger partnership. I think today it was Rohit and Sikar got 70 odd. So you've got to have a big partnership at the top in order for your batting to really come to the front, in order for people like Jason and Marlon and to come in and be able to be free. So it's got to start there, but I think Ambris has to come in for Powell.
All right, today is all about Rohit Sharma, but given the question marks India would have had after losing that last game in Pune, they made changes to try and balance the team better. You'd think they'd stick with this team now, but are there still questions with just the decisions they took today that you'd like to see changed or addressed?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to find a place for Chahal. He has been one of India's best bowler. You can understand why they went with the squad they did. If Virat Kohli would know that they'll bat as well as they did, he probably wouldn't leave Chahal out. But
I mean, that's the
positive is Raidu, obviously.
Yes.
When Virat was out early, Shikhar 30 odd, you needed another batsman to sort of get some sort of a score. With Rohit Sharma, he went and got 100, which is a real positive, because then you sort of start hoping that form continues and that one more spot is more or less confirmed. Then you can tinker with the 6 and 7s. Maybe Hardik Pandya at some stage will be back. They might try another guy. Kedar Jadhav wasn't really needed today, so you don't really know whether that change worked. Like I said, one of those nights where everything went right for India. After winning the toss, you thought whether batting first was a good move. Once you put 370, I think it's always going to be a good move, irrespective of where you're playing. So, there are still some, you still want your attacking bowlers playing. You still saw Jadeja not really create an impact in spite of West Indies, more or less out of that game. On good pitches, I don't think he's your best fifth option as a bowler. But at the moment, I think Virat Kohli is trying to do the best with the squad that he has.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny sometimes, Phil, you make changes to try and get the balance right that you think you've got wrong in the previous game, and the players you bring in actually do very little on the day. It's what happened with Kedar Jadhav and Ravindra Jadeja. But you go with Ajit in what is going to be a fresh game, and West Indies still have plenty to play for. You'd find a place for the extra wrist spinner in Thiruvananthapuram?
Yeah, I think he has to come back in. I don't know what the wicket will be like down there, what the due conditions will be like in case you lose the toss and everything like that. But you would think that he being one of your best bowlers and that combination of him and Kuldeep, you would think that you need to have them playing in the next game.
I mean, we've got to remember those four guys, Bhuvi, Bumrah, Chahal and Kuldeep have been one of the reasons since they've come in the team, those two wrist spinners, that India has had a lot of success in restricting teams in that middle overs. You don't want to suddenly abandon it because you're trying to sort of balance the team out. It's okay for a series maybe like this where you're missing a couple of players, but you don't want to do that for too long because going forward you will require wicket takers.
All right, Phil, final word on the West Indies. Can they just scratch this one off as one of those days where they're at the end of a receiving end of a really good innings and then the chase just didn't go according to plan? Still plenty to take from the second and third ODI and plenty to go into that final ODI with?
I think they can do that, and I hope that's what they will do. I also hope that they would take a leaf from Rohit Sharma's book in the way he played on the wicket and the way he played for the team. The top 3 or 4 need to look at his responsibility today and go into the next game looking that if it comes to that, one of them has got to take that responsibility like he did today. But they have to look at it as if today was a bad day. We've got one game to tie the series and we've got to go into thinking like that.
You got to finally end with Rohit Sharma, I guess, because if Kohli doesn't get you, or if Shikhar doesn't, then Rohit will. He normally, off late, we've been criticizing him a bit harshly that one innings in a series at times and then goes missing. But big innings today in the absence
criticizing
of Kohli.
him. I think that's been in the last couple of series because we've been so used to seeing Rohit so consistent in one-day cricket.
And I guess comparing him to Virat Kohli is...
but I mean, if he's set, I mean, I don't think that too many guys more dangerous than him in world cricket. I think he can get any score if he gets through to that first 40 or 50 and has taken his time. It just explodes again. You know, when India needed it, like that first game with Virat, again here got a big 100 to make sure that they got enough runs.
All right, more than enough today. 224 the margin of victory. Many thanks to Ajit Agarkar and to Phil Simmons for joining us on ESPN Cricket for Match to get their thoughts on the final one-day international 2. Hope to have your company for the same. Download the ESPN Cricket for mobile app to stay up to date with all the news and coverage around this series. Story from the Brabourne Stadium in Mumbai is that India have won comprehensively by 224 to take a 2-1 lead in this series.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.